I appreciate you coming here on such, Teddy, shut that door. Coming on such short notice. I appreciate it. I know a lot of you have busy schedules and need to be places, but we're here to talk about our basketball program. I had a lengthy meeting this morning with our basketball coach, Coach Tom Herrion, and we discussed the program, his thoughts, my thoughts. And at the end of the discussion, Tom announced that he was resigning his position as head basketball coach at Marshall University. I accepted that resignation. I thanked him for everything that he's done for Marshall University. He took over a program that had some issues, that not many people are aware of, and I'm not here to talk about that, but he solved some of those issues, and but at the end of the day, the program wasn't moving in a direction that both Tom and I thought it needed to move in. Tom's a class act. He's a friend. He was loyal to Marshall University. He'll be missed. I think people in our department like Tom, respected Tom. I do. I know I do. And I know Tom has released a statement. I won't read that, but that's in the release that you have. Basketball is critical to the success of our athletics program. We have to be successful in basketball, and I believe we can. It's been a while since we've been in a major tournament. Obviously, Tom's second year we went to the NIT, but I'm not interested in going to the NIT. I'm interested in winning the conference and going to the NCAA. We have big plans. We're winding down our vision campaign to build the facilities that you see that we've built being built around us. The success of basketball has an impact on that. Whether we like to say that or not, it does. We've put a major effort into our Big Green Scholarship Fund, and again, the overall success of our basketball program directly affects that. We've made a commitment to basketball. I think if you look at the Henderson Center, I can remember walking in the Henderson Center 4.5 years ago, and I walked through that building for the press conference when I was announced the athletics director, and I was embarrassed. The lights were dim, they buzzed. The floor was old, was dull. The heat was unbelievable. I was told the sound system, you couldn't hear it in various areas of the arena. My first year there, if you got up above row 25, I thought I was back in Las Vegas in the middle of the desert watching a basketball game in July. It was so hot. We've addressed those issues. The basketball locker room that we have is as good as anywhere I've ever seen. It's as good as at UNLV, at Kansas when I worked there, all the places that I've worked. We've cleaned up and made the Henderson Center look like a quality facility. With the last addition obviously being a brand new playing court that was years overdue to put that in there. The ribbon boards, the graphics, all those things, and we're going to continue to try to improve that. Our salaries with our basketball program are very competitive now in Conference USA, whereas a lot of our salaries are not competitive in a lot of different areas, but we've worked hard to make them competitive. I have high expectations. I sensed this year there was not a lot of energy in our program, and I sensed apathy within our fan base. and anybody that has worked with me or knows me, that I spend a tremendous amount of time with our donors, with our supporters, with our alumni, and I get a good feel from them how they feel. And there was a lot of apathy within our program. We can be good in basketball. We can be successful in basketball. The Henderson Center can be a special place for Marshall basketball. And we have great fans here. We need more of them. We don't have enough of them, but we need more of them. And we were all at the games this year in February, March. We saw the crowds. We saw the enthusiasm, or lack of enthusiasm, lack of crowd in that building, and that's not how you build a program. And Tom and I discussed that. And we've discussed that after last year. We've discussed that through the season. And we came to the conclusion, Tom came to the conclusion that he felt it was best that he resign as the head basketball coach. We will start the search immediately, and I believe we will have good candidates. There'll be a lot of speculation out there on names, individuals, and that's great because that gives me help in my job, and I appreciate that. But I will not comment on names that are out there. And I'm here today to give you every opportunity to ask me questions about the search and about what we're looking for and where we're trying to do. But after today, you have to respect the fact that I will not comment on this basketball coaching search until we have the press conference to announce the new coach. I just cannot do that. It's distracting and it's just not fair to candidates. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to Marshall University, and it's not fair to the process. So I'm here today in front of the cameras, in front of the writers, to explain to you what happened, to explain to you where we're going and how we feel about basketball, and give you an opportunity to ask questions in this setting. After I walk out of this room, I appreciate no texts, no calls, and that's not my style, and many of you know that. My style has been to answer your questions immediately. Many of you know you don't have to get an appointment to see me. I don't hide. I confront the issues. I visit with you. I'm available. I've never, not once, turned down an interview or responded to you on a situation or anything that happens here within the athletics program. Well, for a period of time, I'm going to have to change that because I'm not going to get distracted, and I don't want speculation out there that's not good for anyone. So I hope you as the media respect that and follow that, and I appreciate that. And maybe we'll have a press conference tomorrow to announce the new coach. Maybe it'll be next week. Maybe it'll be 3 weeks. Who knows when it'll be? I never set timetables because the minute there are timelines, and the minute you don't meet that, then you didn't meet your deadline for your coach, and that's perceived as being negative. So as soon as we can get the right coach in here to lead this basketball program, that's when we'll have a press conference and announce it. Appreciate you coming out on such short notice, and I am here today, this moment, to answer any question that any of you have.
What are the attributes you're looking for?
Looking for someone who can win. Someone who can win the right way. Someone that wants to be here. someone that can reignite the fan base. You know, I never missed a game here. I sat up in the stands. There were some games I got a little lonely. My wife and I sitting up there. And I don't like being lonely at basketball games. I like people around me enjoying the game. But someone who can Marshall has a great basketball tradition a while ago, ways back. And there's no reason why we can't have that same type of program, just like we had out here last year, and just like I believe with all my heart that we're going to continue that, and that's going to get nothing but better, and I'm referring to football. Someone who runs the program the right way. Tom ran the program the right way. Someone who values the academic side of it. Tom did that. But at the end of the day, we just didn't win enough games. We just didn't win enough games.
Mike, have the assistants met with the current players about who's going to stay, what their plans are?
You know, Keith, I met with the team this morning. Coach Herrion met with them. I met with them. I've done this a long time, probably too long, some people say, but I met with the team, and it's the same. It's Groundhog Day everywhere I've ever been. Kids are confused. Some kids are happy. Some kids are upset. Some kids are staying. Some kids are leaving. But you know what, Keith? I found out at the end of the day, when you get a new coach hired and that coach goes in and sits down with those kids, everything works out fine. So, you know, these kids are young. They're you know, they got back late last night. I met with them this morning after Coach Herrion had a chance to visit with them. I came in right after Coach met with him and the staff, and you could tell the kids were really confused. They were really puzzled. They didn't know really what was going on, and I tried to assure them that we're committed to them, but they're going to be committed to us too. And you know, at the end of the day, they signed to come and play at Marshall University. That letter of intent didn't say this coach or this coach. And, you know, in this day and age of social media, you know, half of them are coming, half of them are going, and that'll change. That changes daily or weekly. But again, they're young. Some of them are immature. They've never been through this before. They all have dreams and aspirations to get to certain places. And so, you know, time heals a lot of things, and then bring the right person in, then you address that. So I don't get real concerned about kids coming or saying they're coming or leaving 30 minutes after or 15 minutes after a coach tells them that he's resigned. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's it. Anything? Yes, Mark.
Mike, what do you feel is attractive for this job? I know you talked about the tradition and the facility. I mean, in this town, I mean, what wants to make a coach come here?
You know, Mark, this is a great university. It's growing. How many universities are building what we're building? Go down 3rd Avenue. How many universities have added an engineering program, a pharmacy school, and a physical therapy school in the last 2 or 3 years? How many schools in our league are building, when we get finished, over $40 million worth of facilities? We've upgraded our facility tremendously. We've got a great schedule. You know, we've got South Carolina and Penn State coming here to play next year. So there's you get a good education here. We've got a strength coach for basketball. We've got a trainer for basketball. We've got an academic advisor for basketball. Soon we'll have as good an academic support center as anybody in the country. Soon we'll have sports medicine facility over there as good as anywhere in the country. And yes, that does affect basketball because those young men will use that. How much they'll use the indoor football field, I'm not sure about that. But we've upgraded Gollickson Hall. So now we have 2 facilities whenever the Henderson Center, where basically with the rules changing to where coaches can be around student athletes, especially in basketball more, we have a facility where if there's a volleyball game or if there's a graduation, if there's an event in the Henderson Center, we've got somewhere to go. Last summer we made the commitment to spend the money to send the team to Canada to play. So there are a lot of positives. And we all know when we're playing well and winning games, that's a fun place to come and watch a basketball game. But that hadn't been the case. Our people, and again, I'm out there every day, and our fans, Huntington, Charleston, wherever, they are dying for a basketball program that gets the ball up and down the court, and they want that excitement, just like they saw this fall in football when we went and beat the University of Maryland, a Big Ten team, by the way, in a bowl game. So we can be successful here. You sell kids on that. We have everything it needs. My first basketball game at Marshall, sitting in that Henderson Center, I had the worst headache because I guess the light above me buzzed. I couldn't see the court because of the lights. I looked at all those pictures from the 1940s on the wall, and I said, we've got to change this. We've got to remodel and clean this house up. And we have. We're on TV. When we win, we're on TV. Look at football. We won. We're on TV every Saturday. That's a selling point. But we just got to find the right coach to put all that together, and I'm convinced good players will come and play basketball at Marshall University. I'm convinced of that. I believe that. And I believe our fans are hungry for that. We've done everything we need to do. Obviously, you can always do more to put into this basketball program what we've put into this football program from a facilities, from an academic support, from a strength and conditioning, from sports medicine, to have a quality program. Our assistant salaries for our coaches are very, very competitive within Conference USA now. Our head coach's salary is very competitive within Conference USA, whereas 4 or 5 years ago when I got here, it was just like every salary here. They weren't even competitive, especially football. But we have to bring the energy back to Thundering Herd basketball, and we've got to find the right person that can do that. And it doesn't happen overnight. Doesn't happen overnight.
Are you focusing the search on a specific category, first-year coaches, high major assistants, anything like that, or are you just kind of leaving it wide open?
We're going to find the best possible coach we can that we think can do the things that I just described to try to do with our program. That's what we're interested in.
Does his resignation affect his buyout money?
It does not, no, Chuck. It does not.
How much will that be approximately?
In the range of about $550,000. It'll be 2 years of his base salary. Tom was hired initially with a 5-year contract, and you have to do that if you're going to get coaches to come here. After his second year, I extended it when we went to the NIT for the first time in 24 years. I've been able to help us in recruiting and to show a commitment to Tom and show a commitment that we're serious about our program. When we were putting big crowds in the Henderson Center and we played in the championship game, We played for a championship. I extended Tom's contract 1 year that year. That will be paid with private money, ticket revenue, and private money.
Like you talked about the NCAA tournament in this day and age where you're seeing the Virginia Commonwealths and the George Masons and teams like that, like hit in reach the Final Four. It's not out of the grand scheme of things to see that happen at a school like this.
Well, you know, Mark, I try to go to, I enjoy going to the Final Four. It's a great chance to be around ADs and coaches and trying to figure out what's going on in the basketball world. And I could be wrong, but several of the last Final Fours I've went to, Butler's been in it, George Mason's been in it, Wichita State's been in it. What's the difference? If they can get to the Final Four, and I'm not standing up here saying, I'm talking about if they can get in the NCAA tournament, why can't Marshall University? Why just like with football, when we hired Coach Holliday, why can't we play for the championship of Conference USA? Now, it took Coach Holliday 4 years, and we played for the championship. And I anticipate us continuing to play for championships in football. We can do it in basketball. Marshall fans love good, exciting basketball. And those of you who've been around here a long time have seen it, whether you watch the games in the field house, as I did, or you watch the games in the Henderson Center. But until we went to the NIT 2 years ago, it was a long, long drought. And I just did not feel, and Tom and I both together, just did not feel the energy, we felt the apathy, and that's when Tom indicated he just felt the best thing to do was resign from the position, and I accepted his resignation. Anything else? Anybody? Again, here is your chance, Mr. Landon, to ask
I'll
questions.
text you later.
No, you won't text me later.
You may not answer, but I may text you.
Mr. Red, here's your last chance. Your boss is standing there, so you need to, it's your last chance. I will not comment on this search from here on out until, and that's unlike me, and I'll even be hard for me to do, but I just feel for the integrity of it, and I'm looking forward to all the speculation out there. It kind of excites me.
How long was the conversation today? A couple hours?
30, 45 minutes, 50 minutes this morning. You know, they got back late last night, and I wanted to have the conversation immediately. I didn't want to drag it out for everybody's sake. The players are going on spring break next week or getting out of here, so it was a very good, cordial conversation. Tom and I have had a very good working relationship, and I knew Tom. I didn't know Tom well when we hired him. I'd met Tom, but I didn't know Tom very well. But you know, Tom gave Marshall everything he had. I believe that. It just didn't. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes things don't work out.
Can you put your finger on why it didn't work out? Your evaluation?
You know, I could, Paul, but I'm not going to. At the end of the day, we lost 22 basketball games. At the end of the day, I believe the last 2 years we've lost more basketball games than any 2 year, correct me if I'm wrong, history of Marshall basketball game. And it was frustrating to Tom. You could see it. You could see it. He was frustrated. We were all frustrated. And we just didn't get the job done like I expect and our fans expect, and I believe we can. I believe we can in this conference. It's a competitive conference with some of the additions that we've added, but we talked about some specifics, but I'm just not going to get in. I mean, with all due respect to the confidentiality of a employer-employee, I'm just not going to get into that. That's just not appropriate for me to do.
You guys have done a lot to boost the program. Like you said, you could always do more. With this event, do you kind of also sit back and kind of look at yourself and say, all right, what can I do?
Yeah. You know, Derek, that's a good question because, you know, I get a lot of help in my job. Okay? Every day people try to help me. Well, guess what? All those people that have tried to help me with this whole basketball, they don't know it yet, but they're going to get to help me a lot more. Because we're going to go out and try to get the help and support more that we need. And some of them will answer the call and some of them won't. And, we've got to go out and get the energy back. And we were all at that last several games, and there was the energy and it was not there, and there was apathy, and that's this athletics program can't survive at the level that our fans and even you media expect us to be if we don't have some energy in the Henderson Center.
I know in the wake of it, in looking at, have you found areas that you pinpoint quickly where you can grab that energy back, other than, you know, obviously hiring?
Well, you just got to find someone that can go recruit good athletes and put them together and coach them. I mean, we have an adequate recruiting budget. You know, we have all the things I talked about. We're as good or better than anybody else in the conference that we compete against. And give Tom credit. He was able to create a very good schedule. I mean, with the Penn State and the South Carolina coming in here. The renewal of the Moorhead series. We play the game in Charleston. I mean, we're going to play basketball. I canceled that game after I watched them play Rutgers last night. So we're not going to play Louisville next year. So I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Morehouse, I'm kidding. So we can get a good schedule. We've put money into guarantees to play more home games than road games. Look at our schedule. I think next year our non-conference schedules, we're going to play 8 or 9 non-conference games and 3 or 4 road games. Well, that's what you do. And we've done that, and we got to continue to try to do that. I'd much rather play here than on the road. So, and we've got to continue to do that. And I really feel good about, and again, I said I wouldn't get into specifics, I'm not, but I really feel good about some potential candidates. And that's all I'll say about that.
Mike, in this situation, what occurs with the assistants?
Our assistants, Mark, are contracted until the end of June, which is, again, what you have to do to attract quality people. I mean, you just can't go over and say, you guys are done. And we're going to do everything we can to help our assistants, to take care of them. We send them to the Final Four. That's where a lot of the job interviews and the networking happens, and we're going to do that. And there's good people over there. We just didn't win enough basketball games, and I don't know how else to say that or couch that. But we just didn't win enough basketball games.
Without naming names, have you already gotten interested people?
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. It's kind of like blood in the water. The sharks start circling, just like you guys did today. You know, you all just started circling. I know, I'm just kidding, Keith, but yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, this is an attractive job. I think it's even more attractive now than it was 4 years ago, because we've put more into the program, we've put more into the facility, and we're now in a conference where our core opponents are more regional than they've ever been. Middle Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, Charlotte, Old Dominion, and, you know, a lot of you argue with me, but the two schools in Florida, you know, because we like to go to Florida. And that's not a difficult trip to go down there and play 2 games on one trip. So, you know, the travel is so much better than it has been in the past. We make anything else? I appreciate you being here. This is not easy. Tom was a friend and is a friend, but we've got to do, and I think Tom, both I agreed we got to do what's best for Marshall University Athletics, Marshall University Athletics, Marshall University basketball. And again, in closing, I want to thank you in advance for not bothering me for the next 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever. So I appreciate that, and we'll move forward and we'll be fine. Thank you. I turned yours off.